What if I told you the Marines once had a plane that could land on a country road, outfly the Bronco, and still get tossed aside before it even had a chance? This is the strange story of the Convair Model 48 Charger. I'm Bill, and this is Buffalo Air Park. Let's dive in. Alright, so picture this. It's the early 1960s, and the US military is on the hunt for something very specific. They're not chasing supersonic fighters or sleek bombers. No, this time they need a tough little workhorse for counter-insurgency or coin operations. That meant short fields, rugged conditions, and honestly, some of the weirdest design ideas you'll ever see. Convair's answer? The Model 48 Charger, a plane that pretty much earned its seat in the Weird Wings Hall of Fame. The first thing you notice is the Charger's wings. At just 27 feet across at first, later stretched to 30 feet, they look way too small for the job. But here's the trick. Those wings were almost entirely inside the wash of the propellers from the two turboprop engines. This created what's called a blown wing, basically forcing air across the wing and generating huge amounts of lift, even at low speeds. Add in full-span slotted flaps and leading-edge slats. This little brute could leap off a short strip like it had no business doing so. We're talking under 500 feet to get airborne, or land over a 50-foot obstacle. In fact, it beat the OV-10 Bronco in short field performance. Convair wanted this plane to operate where no normal aircraft could. We're talking back roads in the jungle. So they gave it a wide landing gear and a compact wingspan, just narrow enough to squeeze onto rural highways. If you had a flat stretch of road, you had a runway. The Charger wasn't just about lift and landing. It was designed to swap out fuselage sections to carry cargo, fuel tanks, and even small squads of troops. Though with 6 paratroopers crammed inside, plus 1 in the observer's seat, you can imagine how cozy that got. And if it wasn't odd enough, Convair even planned floatplane operations. Yep, you could slap floats on this thing and take it into the water. At its heart, it was still a warbird. 4 7.62mm machine guns in the nose, plus 5 hardpoints carrying up to 2,000 pounds of rockets, bombs, or gun pods. In profile, it looked a lot like the Bronco, with its twin booms and 2 engines, but the Charger had its own personality. Blocky, utilitarian, and downright mean-looking. Here's the kicker. Convair had been studying coin aircraft for years before the Navy even asked. When the official proposal dropped in 1963, they had a design ready to go and rolled out a prototype in just 40 weeks. That's less than a year from green light to first flight in November 1964. And get this, the Marines and Air Force actually liked it better than the Bronco. But by then, the game was already rigged. The Navy had chosen North American's OV-10 months earlier, before the Charger even left the ground. One historian even joked that North American won with a paper airplane, while Convair showed up with a real flying machine. Still, the Charger had one last chance. The services ordered 100 hours of joint testing, and things were looking good until October 19, 1965. On its 196th flight, the only prototype crashed. The official report blamed pilot error. A Navy test pilot had shut down an engine incorrectly, leading to a mechanical seizure. But the bigger issue was baked into the Charger's very design. Because so much of its lift depended on prop wash, losing thrust from one engine at low speed could quickly turn deadly. And that was that. With its sole prototype destroyed, the program died overnight. The Model 48 Charger was the last complete aircraft Convair ever built. It met the specs, outperformed its rival in some areas, and still lost. A bizarre little bird that could have been a game changer if history had played just a little differently. And that wraps up another tale from Aviation's Stranger Side. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies.